It turns out that detaining immigrants is big business.
Because we got a president in the office, President Trump, who will not tolerate that, and he'll wipe you off the face of the earth.
A private prison corporation is set to reopen a previously closed correctional facility in northern Michigan as a federal immigration processing center. On Thursday, March 20th, the GEO Group announced that it had entered into an agreement with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement for the immediate reactivation of the North Lake Correctional Facility in Baldwin. The 1,800-bed facility, Michigan's only privately owned for-profit prison, has remained inactive since 2002. Private prison companies currently house 90% of immigration detainees and have been intensifying efforts to expand their role in Donald Trump's immigration enforcement strategy. Recently, both GEO Group and Core Civic have secured new contracts with ICE to increase their detention capacity. GEO reported total revenues for the full year 2024 of $2.42 billion. Over the past 26 years, the North Lake Correctional Facility has opened and closed several times. It last operated in 2019 as a federal prison housing non-U.S. citizen offenders, but was shut down 3 years later when the Biden administration ended contracts with for-profit prison operators. The facility has faced criticism in the past, with reports of detainee hunger strikes in 2020 over concerns about poor conditions, inadequate medical care and discrimination. The advocacy group No Detention Centers in Michigan also reported that 2 inmates died from COVID-19 while in custody at the facility. Efforts to convert the prison into an immigration detention center are not new. In 2021, 2 Republican U.S. representatives suggested that the facility could serve ICE due to limited detention capacity. GEO Group's contract for North Lake is one of 3 new ICE agreements announced by the company in the past month. The corporation has also secured deals for a 1,000-bed detention center in New Jersey and a 1,328-bed facility in Texas. As the federal government seeks to increase detention capacity, White House Border Policy Advisor Tom Homan has indicated that at least 100,000 beds will be necessary to accommodate Trump's deportation plans. ICE, which currently holds approximately 47,000 individuals in detention, is reportedly at full capacity.
I'm not an attorney, but I can read. I know the Alien Enemy Act says, and that was a law enacted by Congress, voted by Congress, signed by the President, is it a federal statute. And we're using all statutes we can to remove quickly from the United States terrorists. Let's remember, TDA, not only are they here illegally, they've been designated terrorists, just like MS-13. We're going to do everything we can to remove them quickly. So we're not making this up. It's a statute. It's a federal law.
Eunice Cho, a senior staff attorney at the ACLU's National Prison Project, has raised concerns about the rapid expansion of private immigration detention. Reports of neglect, mistreatment and substandard conditions in ICE facilities across the country underscore the risks of placing detainees in for-profit centers. These companies operate to generate profit, Cho previously said. That financial incentive often leads to cost-cutting measures affecting medical care, food quality, and staffing levels. On any given day, over 1.8 million individuals are incarcerated in prisons and jails across the United States, more than any country in the world. This includes approximately 660,000 people detained in more than 3,000 local jails nationwide. While comprehensive data, especially for ICE detainees, is limited, it is evident that a substantial portion of those held in local jails are there on behalf of state or federal agencies. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, in 2019, around 117,000 individuals, 16% of the incarcerated population, were housed in local jails under agreements with federal, state, and tribal authorities. Counties frequently enter into agreements with different agencies offering jail space in exchange for a per-day fee, which varies by contract. For instance, in 2023, Daviess County in Kentucky renegotiated its agreement with the U.S. Marshals Service, raising the daily rate per inmate from $55 to $70 per day. At first glance, this arrangement may seem like a practical solution for managing inmate populations. State and federal agencies utilize available jail space for transfers or other operational needs. However, in practice, federal agencies are relying more heavily on local jails. Increasingly, the U.S. Marshals Service is using county jails to house individuals facing federal charges, while Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, detains individuals undergoing civil immigration proceedings. ICE can also leverage contracts between the U.S. Marshals Service and local governments, in addition to securing its own direct agreements. As a result, local jails have become the most common type of facility in ICE's detention network. Elevating my style used to mean breaking the bank. But with Quince, I get high-end, versatile pieces at prices I can actually afford. Now I can upgrade my style by snagging killer luxury essentials that sync with my vibe and wallet. Quince has all the must-haves like Mongolian cashmere crewneck sweaters, iconic 100% leather jackets, and versatile flow-knit activewear. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. I love that. And these t-shirts that I wear feel great and fit me like a glove. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/FMN for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/FMN to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/FMN. The federal budget for the 2024 fiscal year allocated a staggering $3.4 billion to Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention, a level of spending that is not only excessive, but also wasteful and inhumane. Studies have consistently shown that detention neither deters migration nor ensures higher court appearance rates, despite these being common justifications for expanding detention facilities. In fact, most immigrants who are not detained still attend their immigration hearings. Moreover, rental agreements for jail space often prove to be an inefficient and costly burden for federal agencies. ICE, for instance, has spent millions of dollars on unused beds due to contractual provisions that require guaranteed payments regardless of occupancy. At the local level, these agreements also place financial strain on communities. Rather than allocating resources to essential services such as education, healthcare, and public transportation, county officials direct funding towards jails, chasing financial incentives that ultimately come at a social cost. Research indicates that incarceration exacerbates poverty, worsens health outcomes, increases housing instability, and tears families apart. Unsurprisingly, it has had little impact on reducing reoffending rates and in some cases may even contribute to higher rearrest rates. Advocates against immigration detention have successfully pushed for jurisdictions to terminate their contracts with ICE, and some states have enacted laws prohibiting local governments from leasing jail space to the agency. However, these efforts have not fully eliminated the problem, as ICE can still utilize agreements between the U.S. Marshals Service and county jails. Immigration reform that provides clear, humane pathways to legal status would significantly reduce the number of immigrants detained by ICE. Policies such as expanded work visas, streamlined asylum processes, and protections for undocumented individuals would decrease the need for detention by allowing more people to live and work legally. Alternatives to detention, such as case management programs, have proven effective in ensuring court appearances without incarceration. Additionally, reform could eliminate punitive detention policies that disproportionately target immigrants. By prioritizing fair legal processes over mass detention, immigration reform would lower incarceration rates, reduce costs, and create a more just immigration system. I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with Midas Touch.